What is up there, Workforce? Chris here with WorkToGame, and I wanted to talk about Shadowbringers Prep, and mostly I wanted to talk about what class you're going to play first. So Shadowbringers Prep is a big, really loose topic, and I kind of just wondered what everybody was planning on maining. I just wondered kind of what the best class you guys think is, either for you or just in general, to main, and in two different definitions of that. So first, what's the best class to kind of level up as, because you're going through MSQ for the first time, so that means any solo fights, that means any time you have to queue for dungeons, that means a lot of likely pulling things by yourself and having to DPS them down out in the world. And so the ability to kind of get in and out of dungeons in a reasonable amount of time, the ability to get in and out of, the various areas where you may have to fight by yourself, either because you just happen to be alone on that quest or because it is one of those solo encounters. And then also what class you plan on maining first, for at least the beginning of Shadowbringers, because that may not be the same class. Maybe you like maining White Mage, but you're like, oh, there's no way I'm going to do White Mage through the story because I don't find that enjoyable. So I know that for me, I plan on maining Warrior through the story, and then I want to level all my tanks and kind of decide what I'm going to main, probably a tank, for the duration of Shadowbringers. I'll get my Black Mage up because my Black Mage it was my main in ARR, it was my main in Heavensward, and actually it was the first class I capped out in Stormblood. But I don't think I'm going to main Black Mage at all this expansion. I think I just want to lean really heavily into tanking. And then I know Brian wants to level his Summoner Scholar up first, and then Dancer, and then go through the healers, and then loop back around for some casters. And so that'll really cover us pretty well on like the ranged healer tank category. Melee DPS is somewhere that like Brian and I really don't have covered. He has them all at 70 right now, but I don't know that either of us plan on having those at cap quickly within Shadowbringers. And then the next part of this prep is I kind of wondered what else you guys are doing. Right now I know inventory management is something that is a really good time to do. It's just a really great time to try to get your retainers clear, the Chocobo saddlebag clear, your personal inventories clear, and that's everything from like getting old tokens out to deciding what like materia is worth keeping around versus just dumping on the market board. Maybe you have a bunch of old crafting materials. And then one of the harder things is like your armory chest, because that's all of the stuff that you have for like classes you haven't leveled yet, or things you keep around for glamour that you haven't moved to your glamour dresser. And so I know for many players that can be hundreds of items. And so that's a really hard area to kind of decide what you're doing there. And then is there anything else that you plan on kind of doing with the limited amount of time left? We have just a few weeks left, really. I think it's like 7 or 8 as of this recording. And I know for me, like I'd like to finish out my gatherers. I haven't had all of my gatherers at cap at a single point in history. So I would love to have my gatherers capped. I have minor, it's in the 60s. So if I just do Namatsu a few more days, it should cap out pretty easily. I shouldn't have to do anything crazy. I could probably do it in one sitting. It would just be a long sitting. And if I would just log in and do Namatsu regularly, it gives you some crazy amount of experience every day. And I know Brian wants to try to finish up his crafters. He's doing a lot of that with leaves, and so it's about like waiting for his leaves to come back up. And I just kind of wondered what you guys were doing. Maybe it's the jump puzzle in Kugane you want to get done. Maybe it's Heaven on High. I know a fair number of people are trying to get Eureka done because that's one of the ones that's going to be really hard to go back and do later, because it's going to kind of die as an instance. So anybody who wants to finish up Eureka, great time to do that. And I just kind of wondered where you guys were spending your time, what you're using this for. Maybe you're spending the time out of game. That's totally logical as well. To avoid burnout, like this is a really great time to take a break and knock out any single-player games you're playing, any other multiplayer games you're playing, and just try anything else. We've had a lot of great games release in the last year or two, and so it's a great time to go back and spend time with those, and then plan on playing Final Fantasy at the end of June, beginning of July. And all of this is leading up to the live letter on May 24th. Meanwhile, we have the media tour, so there's going to be, a handful of content creators and stuff that are going to have their hands on the battle classes. Of course, they'll be locked behind an embargo, which means that they can't talk about it. I know Brian and I are really excited. This will be our first media tour to go to, and so we're excited to kind of get hands on and then not be allowed to talk about it until they tell us. So I know that last time there was like a whole bunch of videos that dropped all at once, so that must have been when the embargo lifted. And would any of the information, either from the media tour where your favorite creators got their hands on classes, or would the big, super long, crazy live letter that hopefully shows in a fair amount of detail how ideally most of the classes, if not all the classes, are going to work, will that change your opinion on what you're going to level first? Are you between a couple classes? Are you just totally ready to go and you're like, no matter what they say, this is my main? Because I know that's how I feel about Warrior. It doesn't even have to be logical. They could totally trash Warrior and I'm still going to level Warrior first. Even though Paladin, I have Paladin at cap, and that's an incredibly intriguing one to think about, because Paladin with the TP change, like that's one of the classes that I feel like is going to get a really drastic change. So I don't know, just wanted to kind of talk about it. Thought it was an interesting discussion. Kind of start that in the comments below, see what you guys are thinking, and just kind of see if there's like a trend of what classes people are doing, and if there's any classes that maybe we just don't see represented at all, because going into the expansion everybody's like, I don't know about that, and just thought this would be a fun topic to start as just a let's discuss. So my name's Chris with WorkToGame. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you next time.
Hey guys, it's me. Oh, well, if you don't know me, my name's Terry. I'm a beautiful Tyrannosaurus from Texas, and it just doesn't get more country than that. I tell you what, I grew up in these parts, I was resurrected by a ghost, and that ghost told me that I needed to come out and hang out on WorkToGame's YouTube channel to tell everybody they should totally hit that thumbs up. Thumbs down make Terry hungry. It makes me hungry. You hear me? Hungry. Anyway, Terry, just keep it together. Keep it together, Terry. All right, guys. So, with that, be sure to hit that thumbs up button and hit subscribe if you haven't already to see more of me and my beautiful nose. Okay. All right. Good talking to you. I'll see you guys soon. I'll see you real soon. Terry, the Tyrannosaurus from Texas.